प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है। हर धड़कन में साई समाए, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
धड़कन में साई समाए, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
हर धड़कन में साई समाए, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
हर धड़कन में साई समाए, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम।
राम रहीम कृष्ण करी,
राम रहीम कृष्ण करी।
बोलो राम रहीम कृष्ण करी।
बोलो राम रहीम कृष्ण करी।
ज़ोराष्ट्र सुनानक,
ज़ोराष्ट्र सुनानक।
ज़ोराष्ट्र सुनानक।
ज़ोराष्ट्र सुनानक।
कोई भी नाम जपोर मनवा, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
कोई भी नाम जपो रे मनवा, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
मनवा कोई भी नाम जपोर मनवा, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
मनवा कोई भी नाम जपो रे मनवा, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
हर धड़कन में साई समाए, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
हर धड़कन में साई समा है, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है।
राम रहीम कृष्ण करी,
राम रहीम कृष्ण करी।
ज़ोराष्ट्र सुनानक,
ज़ोराष्ट्र Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Samba Sada Shiva, Namah Shivaya,
Samba Sada Shiva, Namah Shivaya,
Samba Sada Shiva, Shankara Namah Shivaya,
Girija Shankar Namah Shivaya,
Girija Shankara Namah Shivaya,
Girija Shankar Namah Shivaya,
Bhavani Shankara Namah Shivaya,
Bhavani Shankar Namah Shivaya,
Bhavani Shankara Namah Shivaya,
Bhavani Shankar Namah Shivaya,
Lingodhavakara Sai Manohara,
Lingodhavakara Sai Manohara,
Lingodhavakara Sai Manohara,
Lingodhavakara Sai Manohara,
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
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 Shivaya,
Samba Sada Shiva, Namah Shivaya,
Samba Sada Shiva, Namah Shivaya,
Girija Shankara Namah Shivaya,
Girija Shankar Namah Shivaya,
Bhavani Shankara Namah Shivaya,
Vani Shankar Namah Shivaya,
Lingodhavakara Sai Manohara,
Bhavakara Sai Manohara,
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya,
Namah
Namah Shivaya,
Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
बालगोपाला साई बालगोपाला
बालगोपाला साई बालगोपाला
बालगोपाला साई बालगोपाला
बालगोपाला साई बालगोपाला
देवकी नंदन गोपाला
देवकी नंदन गोपाला
देवकी नंदन गोपाला
देवकी नंदन गोपाला
बाल गोपाला साई बाल गोपाला
बालगोपाला साई बालगोपाला
वसुदेवनंदन गोपाला
वसुदेवनंदन गोपाला
वसुदेवनंदन गोपाला
वसुदेवनंदन गोपाला
यशोदनंदन गोपाला
यशोदनंदन गोपाला
यशोदनंदन गोपाला
यशोदनंदन गोपाला
नंद गोपाला आनंद गोपाला
नंद गोपाला आनंद गोपाला
नंद गोपाला आनंद गोपाला
नंद गोपाला आनंद गोपाला
साई गोपाला सत्य साई 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 गोपाला
बाल गोपाला साई बाल गोपाला
बालगोपाला साई बालगोपाला
देवकी नंदन गोपाला
देवकी नंदन गोपाला
बाल गोपाला साई बाल गोपाला
बालगोपाला साई बालगोपाला
वसुदेवनंदन गोपाला
वसुदेवनंदन गोपाला
यशोदनंदन गोपाला नंद गोपाला आनंद गोपाला
नंद गोपाला आनंद गोपाला साई गोपाला सत्य साई गोपाला
साई गोपाला सत्य साई गोपाला
साई गोपाला सत्य साई गोपाला
बाल गोपाला साई बाल गोपाला
हरि गुण गान करो मन मेरो
गुणगान करो मन मेरो
हरि गुण गान करो मन मेरो
गुणगान करो मन मेरो
साई गुण गान करो मन मेरो
साई गुणगान करो मन मेरो
साई गुण गान करो मन मेरो
साई गुणगान करो मन मेरो
हरि गुण गान करो मन मेरो
गुणगान करो मन मेरो
हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण साई कृष्ण
हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण साई कृष्ण
हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 साई कृष्ण
हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 साई कृष्ण
साई गुण गान करो मन मेरो
साई गुणगान करो मन मेरो
साई गुण गान करो मन मेरो
साई गुणगान करो मन मेरो
साई गुण गान करो मन मेरो
साई गुणगान करो मन मेरो
साई गुण गान करो मन मेरो
साई गुणगान करो मन मेरो
हरि गुण गान करो मन मेरो
गुणगान करो मन मेरो
साई गुण गान करो मन मेरो
साई गुणगान करो मन मेरो
हरि गुण गान करो मन मेरो
गुणगान करो मन मेरो
हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 साई कृष्ण
हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 साई कृष्ण
साई गुण गान करो मन मेरो
साई गुणगान करो मन मेरो
साई गुण गान करो मन मेरो
साई गुणगान करो मन मेरो
साई गुण गान
शीतलचरणं कोमलचरणं मञ्जुलचरणं मम गुरुचरणं
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 मृदुलचरणं अनुग्रहचरणं
मृदुलचरणं अनुग्रहचरणं
मृदुलचरणं अनुग्रहचरणं
मृदुलचरणं अनुग्रहचरणं
सद्गुरुचरणं सदा स्मरामि
सद्गुरुचरणं सदा स्मरामि
सद्गुरुचरणं सदा स्मरामि
सद्गुरुचरणं सदा स्मरामि
प्रेमदाता साई गुरुनाथा
प्रेमदाता साई गुरुनाथा
प्रेमदाता साई गुरुनाथा
प्रेमदाता साई गुरुनाथा
पावन चरणं सदा भजामि
पावन चरणं सदा भजामि
पावन चरणं सदा भजामि
पावन चरणं सदा भजामि
शीतलचरणं कोमलचरणं मञ्जुलचरणं मम गुरुचरणं
शीतलचरणं कोमलचरणं मञ्जुलचरणं मम गुरुचरणं
मृदुलचरणं अनुग्रहचरणं
मृदुलचरणं अनुग्रहचरणं
सद्गुरुचरणं सदा स्मरामि
सद्गुरुचरणं सदा स्मरामि
प्रेमदाता साई गुरुनाथा
प्रेमदाता साई गुरुनाथा
पावन चरणं सदा भजामि
पावन चरणं सदा भजामि
पावन चरणं सदा भजामि
पावन चरणं सदा भजामि
शीतलचरणं कोमलचरणं मञ्जुलचरणं मम गुरुचरणम्
महादेवा महेश्वरा साई नारायणा
देवा महेश्वरा साई नारायणा
महादेवा महेश्वरा साई नारायण
देवा महेश्वरा साई नारायण
नटनागरा दुःखभञ्जना साई नारायण
नटनागरा दुःखभञ्जना साई नारायण
नटनागरा दुःखभञ्जना साई नारायण
नटनागरा दुःखभञ्जना साई नारायण
करुणाखरा अखिलेश्वरा साई नारायण
करुणाकरा अखिलेश्वरा साई नारायण
करुणाकरा अखिलेश्वरा साई नारायण
करुणाकरा अखिलेश्वरा साई नारायण
अल्लाह तुम महावीर यीशु 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 साई नारायण
हृदयेश्वरा पर्तीश्वरा साई नारायण
हृदयेश्वरा परतीश्वरा साई नारायण
हृदयेश्वरा पर्तीश्वरा साई नारायण
हृदयेश्वरा परतीश्वरा साई नारायण
महादेवा महेश्वरा साई नारायण
देवा महेश्वरा साई नारायण
नटनागरा दुःखभञ्जना साई नारायण
नटनागरा दुःखभञ्जना साई नारायण
करुणाकरा अखिलेश्वरा साई नारायण
करुणाकरा अखिलेश्वरा साई नारायण
अल्लाह तुम महावीर यीशु साई नारायण
अल्लाह तुम महावीर यीशु साई नारायण
हृदयेश्वरा पर्तीश्वरा साई नारायण हृदयेश्वरा परतीश्वरा साई नारायण
हृदयेश्वरा परतीश्वरा साई नारायण
महादेवा
महेश्वरा साई नारायण
वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला जय मधुसूदन जय नंद लाला झूलना झूले मेरे साई नंद लाला झूलना झूले मेरे साई नंद लाला कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे साई हरे साई हरे कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला
वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला
वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला
वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला
जय मधुसूदन जय नंद लाला
जय मधुसूदन जय नंदलाला
जय मधुसूदन जय नंद लाला
जय मधुसूदन जय नंदलाला
झूलना झूले मेरे साई नंद लाला
झूलना झूले मेरे साई नंदलाला
झूलना झूले मेरे साई नंद लाला
झूलना झूले मेरे साई नंदलाला
कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण
कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण
कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण
कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण
कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला
वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला
वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला
वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला
जय मधुसूदन जय नंदलाला
जय मधुसूदन जय नंदलाला
झुलना झुले मेरे साई नंदलाला
झूलन झूले मेरे साई नंदलाला
झुलना झुले मेरे साई नंदलाला
झूलन झूले मेरे साई नंदलाला
कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण
कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण
कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण कृष्ण माधवा साई हरे
कस्तूरी तिलकं नारायणं
कस्तूरी तिलकं नारायणं
कस्तूरी तिलकं नारायणं
कस्तूरी तिलकं नारायणं
कमलनयनं नारायणं
कमलनयनं नारायणं
कमलनयनं नारायणं
कमलनयनं नारायणं
कस्तूरी तिलकं नारायणं
कस्तूरी तिलकं नारायणं
गुरुवायूर्पुरनारायणं
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 कलियुगावतारनारायणं
कलियुग अवतार नारायणं
कलियुगावतारनारायणं
कलियुग अवतार नारायणं
गोविन्द गोविन्द नारायणं
गोविन्द गोविन्द नारायणं
गोविन्द गोविन्द नारायणं
गोविन्द गोविन्द नारायणं
गोविन्द तिलकं नारायणं
कस्तूरितिलकं नारायणं
कमलनयनं नारायणं
कमलनयनं नारायणं
कस्तूरितिलकं नारायणं
कस्तूरितिलकं नारायणं
गुरुवायूरपुरनारायणं
गुरुवायूर्पुरनारायणं
कलियुगावतारनारायणं
कलियुगावतारनारायणं
गोविन्द गोविन्द नारायणं
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 कस्तूरितिलकं नारायणम्
राम रहीम को भजने वाले तेरे पुजारी बाबा
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 तेरा नाम एक सहारा
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 बाबा तेरा नाम एक सहारा
तेरा नाम एक सहारा
तुम ही हो गीता तुम ही रामायण तुम ही हो वेद पुराण
तुम ही हो गीता तुम ही रामायण तुम ही हो वेद पुराण
हो बाबा तुम ही हो गीता तुम ही रामायण तुम ही हो वेद पुराण
तुम ही हो गीता तुम ही रामायण तुम ही हो वेद पुराण
तेरा नाम एक सहारा
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 बाबा तेरा नाम एक सहारा
तेरा नाम एक सहारा
राम रहीम को भजने वाले तेरे पुजारी पुजारी बाबा,
राम रहीम को भजने वाले तेरे पुजारी बाबा।
तेरा नाम एक सहारा,
तेरा नाम एक सहारा।
तुम ही हो गीता, तुम ही रामायण, तुम ही हो वेद पुराण।
तुम ही हो गीता, तुम ही रामायण, तुम ही हो वेद पुराण।
तेरा नाम एक सहारा,
तेरा नाम एक सहारा।
तेरा नाम एक सहारा,
तेरा नाम एक सहारा।
तेरा नाम एक सहारा,
तेरा नाम एक सहारा।
तेरा नाम एक सहारा।
तेरा नाम एक सहारा।
बाबा तेरा नाम एक सहारा,
तेरा नाम एक सहारा।
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय,
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय।
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय,
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय।
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय,
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय।
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय,
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय।
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय,
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय।
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय,
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय।
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय,
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय।
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय,
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय।
राम रहीम को भजने वाले तेरे पुजारी बाबा, तेरा नाम एक सहारा।
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering our collective prayers, love, and deepest gratitude at the lotus feet of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai as we step into the most sacred and historic time, the centenary celebrations of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba's divine advent. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, a loving Sai Ram to one and all. As we prepare our hearts and lives for the 100th birthday of our beloved Bhagavan, we are reminded of his timeless message. My life is my message. A message that resounds across generations, cultures, and nations, urging us to live in selfless love and tireless service, anchored in the awareness that divinity resides in one and all. In this sacred spirit, it also gives me great joy to welcome our dear guests from India who are joining us here in Sai Anandam in Singapore. In this same thread, love is truly the undying value which is innate in all of us and which propels us to go beyond differences and embrace everyone in the spirit of one world, one family, an ancient Indian ethos. Sri Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, through his global humanitarian mission, which is spread across 80 countries, has been spreading his message of one world, one family as he travels from country to country around the world. We will now have a short video on the One World, One Family global humanitarian mission.
One world, one family is the ethos at the heart of our mission. This ideal comes from an ancient Indian principle which considers the whole world as one global family. And as a family, we believe all our family members deserve care and support. Across the globe, we serve millions through 3 pillars: nutrition, education, and healthcare, all completely free of charge. The Annapurna Morning Nutrition Program began in 2012, providing breakfast for just 50 children, and has since grown to become India's largest morning nutrition program. Today, millions of school children across India and beyond receive the Sai Shore multi-nutrient supplement, helping them begin each day nourished and ready to learn. At our mission, we believe education is every human being's birthright. With a global presence and multiple campuses throughout India, we provide free education from grade 6 to doctorate studies, ensuring every student receives a well-rounded, values-based education that combines high-quality academics with moral and spiritual values. The Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence opens doors previously unimaginable to children from underserved communities. By offering quality higher education to those traditionally overlooked, and with a strong emphasis on empowering women, we're breaking the cycle of educational disparity and promoting gender equality in education. Meanwhile, our Skill Development Center equips rural youth with job-ready skills, and our scholarship program supports education for thousands of rural children. Our commitment to empowerment is also demonstrated by People's Shores, an impact sourcing organization in the United States. We help youth from marginalized communities gain skills for the digital economy. This innovative model delivers high-valued business services while transforming lives and uplifting communities. Our vision for accessible medical education became a reality in 2023 when Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi inaugurated the Sri Madhusudan Sai Institute of Medical Sciences and Research, India's first free, private, rural medical college. This institution aims to nurture noble-minded healthcare professionals who are dedicated to serving the underserved members of our society. Our healthcare mission goes beyond treating illness. We're pioneering solutions to bridge critical gaps in accessible medical care, and through our network of wellness centers, mobile hospitals, and multi-specialty facilities, we bring free healthcare directly to underserved rural communities. From preventative care to complex surgeries, at our hospitals, there are no billing counters. Since 2016, we've expanded beyond India to serve communities across the globe with the singular goal of leaving no person behind. Exemplifying this ideal, our Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani centers form the world's largest chain of free pediatric cardiac hospitals, giving new life to children with heart defects. with continually growing needs worldwide, we're expanding our healthcare facilities with the world's largest free hospital. Our 600-bed facility that demonstrates our dedication to accessible healthcare for all. Our vision is clear. A society where life's value is measured not in wealth, but in compassionate service to those in need. And this vision only becomes a reality with the contribution and generous support of our global family. After all, we are all one world, one family.
Thank you, Swami, for teaching us to how to love more, serve more, and become divine instruments of your mission. We will now also screen another video about the service activities that are happening in Singapore. Please enjoy.
Singapore is known for its rapid development and vibrant culture. With its stunning skyline and diverse population, it stands as a testament to progress and modernity. Yet beneath the surface of this bustling metropolis, a troubling issue brews: the mental health of adolescents, a concern that is growing silently among the city's youth. Studies reveal that 1 in 3 adolescents in Singapore experiences mental health issues. The competitive culture, academic stress, and the unseen battle of self-esteem weigh heavily on young shoulders. Only solution is love in action through service. Uplift Singapore, society dedicated to cultivating a culture of values-based education and holistic well-being for our future generation, was formed. Weekly value formation, classes at children's home, focusing on nurturing values, fostering a foundation of self-confidence and a sense of purpose in their lives. Monthly packing and distribution of groceries for 100 beneficiaries by children from the home. A successful tripod educational system is the bedrock for a better and brighter future. Support was rendered to educators and parents through workshops, symposiums, and network sessions we organized with experts in the field.
Of what I felt that parenting is about, and if you think the child is the priority, then you'll do everything in your might and more to be available, to be responsible for the child, to sit down and have a conversation and not just have your way every time. To believe the child is in your custody, as you're a trustee of the child and you don't own the child.
In a society that thrives on connectivity, many seniors find themselves isolated, struggling with feelings of abandonment. About 1 in 10 elderly in Singapore lives alone, facing the quiet shadows of solitude as the world rushes by. Again, the only solution is love in action. Swami Home is not simply a place for its residents to exist. We work to ensure that every resident feels respected, listened to, secure, and above all, comfortable in a homely and healthy environment. Sunshine Welfare Action Mission, Swami Home, was established. These programs foster understanding, compassion, and a sense of belonging, proving that even in a bustling city, there is room for connection and care. On 8th May 2025, a Memorandum of Understanding was exchanged to establish internship attachment for student nurses from India to facilitate collaboration and knowledge sharing in the field of nursing and elder care. How can we remain silent while across the globe, who needs our support or help? Medical teams at NUH, embarking on their heart-to-heart mission, traveling to Fiji to conduct pediatric cardiac surgeries that transform young lives.
And after the surgery, they would bring the same child for a follow-up echo, and they looked completely different.
They not only provide essential surgical care, but also educate and empower local staff, nurturing a vision of a future where Fijian doctors and nurses lead their own healthcare system. This mission embodies the spirit of global healthcare, fostering connections that extend beyond borders and reminding us of our shared humanity.
But not many places give you the chance to practice compassion to this level.
Just this morning, 9th May 2025, a Memorandum of Understanding was signed to collaborate with the Pediatric Cardiac Hospital in Fiji to provide free pediatric cardiac care for the children of Fiji and the Pacific region. In the heart of this shining city, may we all find a way to reach out, to listen, and to heal. Singapore. As it moves forward, the journey towards mental wellness and community connection remains a vital chapter in its story. But it doesn't end with us in Singapore. The world is our family, and we will continue to embrace all as one.
Swami has always mentioned that we should be embodiments of love who are serving one and all. And we are also now going to invite two lovely guests who are no strangers to us, one of whom we just saw on the screen just now, Dr. Nandini. Right? Dr. Nandini is a consultant pediatric anesthetist at the National University Hospital in Singapore. And we are also going to invite Dr. Sanjay, her husband, who works in the same hospital in hospital management. Swami has asked them to speak about transformation through seva. Thank you.
Saram, and good evening to everyone. I'll speak first because Sanjay usually lets me speak first. So welcome everyone and good evening. A special welcome to our guests from overseas, from Fiji, from India, from USA, from Dubai. This morning, as you heard, we had an MOU between the Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Hospital in Fiji as well as National University Hospital. And your international presence was very good. It was very impressive for NUH to see such an international mission. So you lent a lot of credibility to the mission. So thank you for joining us. Swami asked me to talk about transformation through seva. And actually, the first thing I thought about was something my granddad told me of his experience many years ago. He said that at the time he was going to Puttaparthi every 2 or 3 months, and he had an interview, and he grasped Baba's hands and looked at him and said, are you really God, you know? And then Baba, in his classic way, also took his hands and also looked at him deep in his eyes and said, you are also God. And as a kid, I didn't understand that, but I remember how my granddad did and how expressive he was as he said this story. And then over the years, as the mission progressed, Swami kept telling us that we are divine. And then more recently, he said that actually the only way to please God is actually to become God. So we kept hearing these messages. I kept hearing these messages, but it's hard to really believe, you know. If you've thought you're a sheep your whole life, and for many lives, and now your guru comes and tells you you're a lion, even if he shows you that you're a lion in your reflection, it's very hard to forget that you're a sheep. You still believe you're a sheep. However, what has helped me learn that is actually being a part of the mission. So I joined the mission, part of Sanjeevani, for two reasons. Number one, I found it very exciting. When I went to Raipur, when I saw how it was set up, I knew that it would succeed. So even as a trainee, I decided then to do pediatric cardiac anesthesia so I could be a part of something which is bound to succeed. I mean, why not? And the second reason is because Baba had given me so much growing up, right? I had such a secure childhood because I knew someone loved me unconditionally. And there's no real way to repay that, right? So the only way would then to try and say thank you and be part of the mission. Two reasons. But little did I know that by taking part and by telling by telling God that you love Him, He actually reveals more of Himself to you. And I actually saw a lot of unity in diversity as I took part in these missions. I met children from all over the world, especially in Fiji, saw the joy in their faces as they got better, saw the relief in the parents' faces as they got better. And then I saw the same joy in my colleagues. We've brought about 30 staff from NUH, surgeons, anesthetists, perfusionists, nurses, intensivists. We've brought them to Fiji where they can experience the same sort of love that you are experiencing here. They experience that same sort of love in a temple of healing, and seeing that also gave me a lot of joy. And of course, meeting people from overseas. I've been to Fiji 3 times now, and apart from Sumit and Kripali, there's so many other wonderful people who I wish could have joined us this morning. Seeing how lovely the hospital is, how warm, how welcoming. So many different people from so many backgrounds, the children, the parents, my colleagues, Fijians, but so much unity in that diversity. And that actually gave me a feeling that I can't be a single entity, you know, there is oneness in everything, and I must be a part of that. I must be something bigger. And so then I started to believe, yes, there must be a lion within me. And the second way this mission has uplifted me like that is to see Sadhguru. So today he visited our hospital, and it was the first time actually I saw him in a closed door sort of meeting with senior management, our CEO, our hospital leadership. And he was fantastic. He was very eloquent, spoke so sincerely. And actually, Swami has so much to brag about, actually. His CV is amazing, right? But to speak with so much humility, and you can really feel the intention is, the purpose which drives him is love. You know, and we all felt it in that room. In fact, our CEO was moved to tears, actually. So for me, to see that and to see someone in a human form like that gives me something to aspire to and makes me feel that I also can be a bit like that. So that is actually what the greatest transformation the mission has done to me. Not to say that I am divine, but I actually now have a small belief that I am, which previously I didn't, you know, and I know that this can only grow stronger with time. Yeah, I'd like to end by saying that actually this is Sathya Sai Baba's 100th year. And when he passed away, I remember I was driving, and I thought to myself, oh, you know, I think the best part of my life is probably over, because how much better can your life get? You've been with an avatar, you've had experiences with him in the world. I don't really think anything can get better than that. I remember thinking that. But look where we are now, where Sai Baba is everywhere, and he has given us such a wonderful guru. And his mission has become amazing. When he told me to do anesthesia, there were only 2 hospitals, and there was no pediatric cardiac center. But now look at everything he set up, and there's so many ways for me to serve. So I just wanted to express gratitude to be a part of this. It has been very exciting. And I also know that my guru won't let me go, and this journey will continue. And I actually believe that we will be together at some point, and all of us will actually achieve it because our guru is with us. I truly have that belief and that assurance, and that is something we should really be celebrating on Sathya Sai's 100th birthday. Thank you. Actually, I wanted to say that Swami got us married, and it was an arranged marriage. I'm Singaporean, Sanjay is Malaysian, so we grew up thinking we'll have a love marriage, right? I mean, we've had a westernized society. But to me, the greatest blessing is that somehow I said yes, you know. Of course, it helps that Sanjay is quite good looking and tall. But I'm really, really happy I said yes, because he definitely know what's best. He definitely know what's in both of our hearts. And because he brought us together, Sanjay has been so supportive. For example, when I go to Fiji, sometimes for 2 weeks at a time, Sanjay looks after our little girl at home. So definitely with help. So yes, Swami, it has actually, just thank goodness I said yes when Swami asked us to get married. Yeah.
My humble reverence at the feet of our beloved Sadhguru. Swami asked us both to speak and share our journey focusing on self-transformation. I got a bit scared yesterday because I thought I had a speech, but when I asked Swami, he said, focus on where you came from in Malaysia and then how that progressed. God doesn't say or do anything for himself. Everything that he does is for his devotees. At times, his plans may seem overwhelming, and as many can attest, but they're all meant for our growth. His only expectation from us is transformation, which is something I have to admit I've consistently fallen short of despite being given numerous opportunities for growth and change. I will share my journey and my learning experiences I've had with you. For those of you, as Nandini mentioned, I'm originally from Malaysia. I was a doctor in internal medicine in Kuala Lumpur General Hospital, and during my time there, I was fortunate enough to have been closely affiliated to Sai Anandam, a Sai center in Malaysia. This is a very busy center offering numerous service opportunities in education, healthcare, and social care. One of the first things that Swami told me in the subtle form when he first met all the youth was, "Are you all doing seva?" At that time, it was clear to me that the journey towards self-transformation had to start somewhere, with some form of selfless service done on a regular basis. After his numerous visits to Malaysia, we had a number of opportunities to participate in medical camps, where we treated patients who often fell through the cracks in the healthcare system. It really made me feel good that these group of patients were not only treated but also followed up. Later on, a free weekly medical clinic was established, and eventually it expanded to serve a large number of refugees and foreign workers who could not afford to visit local hospitals because they didn't have insurance, they didn't have, and they had huge financial constraints. These were minimum wage workers. Now, although it was very fulfilling seva, sustaining it really proved to be very, very challenging. We had the infrastructure set up with a fully functioning dispensary, and funding wasn't an issue, but the challenge was recruiting doctors to volunteer. Not many doctors were willing to offer free services during their weekends or leisure time, and I used to get very upset as to why more doctors couldn't commit to this and make God happy. But at the same time, I understood that most of these doctors were married with families. I only realized later that there are a lot of limitations when you're married with a family and kids, and so I understood. But it was during that time that I developed a slight interest in managing medical events, and it was through his grace that I was able to conduct several of these medical camps with Sai Anandam. I'm very grateful for that. The most significant thing that I felt after conducting these camps was a strong sense of gratitude in my life and a feeling of compassion towards those who struggled with basic needs. After seeing so many patients in this unfortunate category, I began to realize that many things could have gone wrong in my life. Still, I was very fortunate to be born in ideal circumstances that allowed me the opportunity to serve, and not everybody gets that opportunity. Now, the next phase of my life was when we both moved to London, and Nandini had to do her fellowship over there. And during that time, there were not many opportunities to do medical seva, as I was in a whole new turf, and it was a new place. And somehow through some connections, I managed to get in touch with the local group over there who was doing weekly food seva. And I had to, take whatever I can get, because remember, the opportunity for seva is not always going to be there. It will change. And every week I used to join and serve the homeless and the minimum wage workers. And I realized even in a place like London, there were plenty of opportunities to serve. And one such incident that happened when I was sharing with Brother Sumi today was that I used to be in charge of giving water bottles. And, I thought this was a first world country, so each one gets one water bottle. There were a few people who requested for 2 or 3 water bottles, and I used to be a little bit, we've got to help the other people. And then somebody came and told me, in that line and said, these people, they don't have running water at home. These people are actually coming because they look forward to collecting water bottles because, it's easy for them to drink mineral water bottles. This is happening in London. So, that really changed my perspective, People have a lot of needs that they're not met for some people. And also after some time of doing that seva, I used to feel very sad when the usual people came after the seva was finished, because, and they had no food, and that feeling of compassion, grew. In Singapore now, things have changed. There's not much time to engage in full-blown seva because, we have got a family now, and a significant amount of time needs to be devoted to family and household duties. This phase is challenging, but it also presents numerous opportunities for transformation. And I just wanted to share a few things that I've realized over the years. There is a big difference between devotion and transformation. Devotion is something that we all possess. We have a great deal of love for God, but devotion is not permanent. Devotion can occur when we listen to a beautiful bhajan that's being sung, but that feeling also leaves just as quickly as it comes. What is far more difficult to achieve is transformation, because once you've achieved that, you will never revert back to your original state. An idol cannot revert back to its original state as a stone. However, the stone always, most of the time, refuses to change because of its ego and attachment to its original state, making very difficult for the sculptor, and this is my struggle. The second thing I've realized is inner transformation is far more difficult than external work. External work will, of course, increase the love, feeling of devotion to God, but we need to take that extra step to translate that into inner transformation, to be more humble, to be more caring, to be more compassionate and more flexible, more forgiving. These are virtues, to be cultivated when God gives us opportunities to do so, but it's something that most of us, including myself, we often overlook. I wanted to share a quote that I recently read by Sri Dayamata, a disciple of Paramahamsa Yogananda, who said, "The divine path of self-realization can take a devotee as far as he wants to go. The key word here is want, which has the same meaning as yearning. To the degree that you yearn for God, to that degree he responds to you. The most important point is to nurture that yearning constantly. When each of you have entered the spiritual path, you felt a yearning, a longing to know God, a longing for joy, a longing to be divine. It's up to you to keep that feeling and that ardent desire, and not let it die out and not let it evaporate. I can say that I have made some progress, but overall I know I have not met Swami's expectations. The journey that Swami has put me through has made me aware of my shortcomings in many areas. And being aware of it is only the tip of the iceberg. Sometimes I feel I'm treading water but not making any progress. And even if I find time for meditation or japa or reading or bhajans, this has not led to sustained change. So how do I go from here? I know the path is to get closer to God, because at the end, that's all that matters. And if it becomes a struggle, it's okay to ask for help, because God is always listening, and at his time of choosing, he will respond in the most unexpected way. I know that making the leap from temporary devotion to sustained change, despite all odds, requires persistent effort, and the biggest problem being in this temporary state is you are neither here nor there. But the greatest blessing that we all have is this desire for God, which we must continue to protect and nurture by sincerely practicing His teachings all the time. Thank you, Swami, for giving me this opportunity to speak.
Swami, they don't want to hear me talk anymore. We're all waiting for your divine wisdom. Thank you.
Sometimes Bhagavan would joke the definition of wife is wisdom invited forever, he would say. When he otherwise generally is worry invited forever. But looking at the wife and husband just now who spoke, I think it's truly wisdom invited forever. And they spoke such wise words, both husband and wife. And you could clearly feel their yearning for God, the yearning to transform themselves, to follow the path and achieve the highest. It was so palpable. With all the duties that they have, professional as well as personal, yet their focus on their spiritual evolution is something that really makes me very happy. That's what I want to see. And I'm very glad that they have taken this so seriously and they're working on it so diligently. So that's truly something that makes me happy as a teacher. Yes, I have several things to brag about, I know, but the thing that delights me the most is the transformation of the followers, the disciples and devotees. When I see them mature in their spirituality, grow closer to their true selves, and have this confidence and courage to walk this path, that makes me very happy. So I think that is the highlight of my CV, if at all I have to ever talk about it in public forums. So I'm glad about it. So I'm happy that these talks really drove home the point that at the end it is your transformation into your true self that is the most important thing. Whether how you do seva, what you do, all this should lead to that one thing. And if that has not happened, then nothing has happened. And if that has happened, then everything has happened. So I'm glad that this journey of togetherness, as I always say, the husband must support the wife must support the husband, not just in household chores or professional capacities, but mostly on their spiritual path. And that happens, then I'm very happy. And looks like they are growing together, and that is very important for me. So I'm very happy to hear both the talks. And it makes me also very hopeful that if the younger ones are doing and talking and feeling like this, then there is a future for the world. Those who have one leg in their graves and they talk about God and spirituality and how they must lead a life of more service and detachment, it's one thing. But for the younger ones, the inspiration comes for young people talking to them in the same language. And that is what I wanted to hear, and I'm sure this message will go a long way in inspiring many more young cubs who still think they are sheep and they're bleating away to glory, but then they will all wake up to this roar and hopefully realize that they themselves are gods. Singapore's actual name is Simhapura in the old way. Simha means a lion, but I don't know how many people think like that. Yeah. Otherwise it will become Sheeppura, full of sheep. So if you really want to live up to the name of your nation, you have to be a lion. And today as we were there in NUH, and I was thinking of the founding father of the nation, the great Lee Kuan Yew, his vision, he was truly a lion. He roared, He roared every time he spoke. And he roared because he believed in what he was doing. And he lived a life for the people of his country and for the greater good of the world. So he was truly a lion, according to me. In some way he inspires anybody who wants to bring about a transformation in the society through the government as well as the civic bodies working together. I think he's a great example. And I was telling it would be a dream to see the whole world like Singapore. materially prosperous, with so much of equality in terms of access to basics of education, nutrition, healthcare, and things like that, plus spirituality. I think that's one place that I want Singapore to improve. These things that we see, 1 in 3 mental health issues, it's there, it's real, it's there for all to see. Despite all the material wealth and all the support systems, and it's like a welfare state. With all these things, also you still find inner happiness missing. The joy of living is not there, and that makes me sad, because you are still poor in such a rich country if you do not have that inner connect with God and the joy that you derive from there. So that is where your roles become very important. As examples of Singaporeans, as those professionals who are doing very well professionally, personally, also working for the society, doing seva, but more importantly, they are happy and contented within. They don't feel this loneliness and this sadness, because they are always connected with their divine self, which is the source of all joy. And that joy is what you can share with others. So what Singapore needs, or that day I was in New Zealand, I felt the same thing. In Australia, I felt the same thing. What they need is this spiritual connection. And that is when they will be truly happy. Because material things don't bring us that. And this wisdom is the true wisdom of our scriptures. They told us from the day one. If you look at Ananda Mimamsa, that's a part of the Taittiriya Upanishad. It's a description about what is Ananda. Ananda is the state of existence beyond joy and sorrow. Nanda means joy, Ananda means sorrow, and Ananda is beyond joy and sorrow. That is the state of equanimity, that is the state of perfection, that is the state of permanent happiness. That doesn't change or fluctuate, diminish or get diluted. So that is the state that we have to achieve at the end. So I was talking to some people in the US, I think, and I was mentioning that in that the description says, who can be considered as a person who is happy, you see? And then it describes that it's possible for such a person who is yuva syat sadhu yuva dhyayakaha ashishto balishto dridishtaha tasyayam prithvim sarvam vrittasya purna syat sa eko manushanandaha. What is 1 unit of human happiness? And they have quantified it in some way, because it's not quantifiable, it's an emotional thing. But just for the sake of it, our sages were very wise. They knew how to make it interesting and exciting. So they told, what would consist of 1 unit of human joy? And they say, yuva syat sadhu yuva dhyayakaha. Yuva syat, he has to be a young person, or she has to be a young person. Means you can't grow old and infirm and shaky and no, not allowed. Always remain young, forever young. That is the first condition to be happy. Then dhyayakaha, sadhu is a good person. He is a noble person. You cannot entertain evil ideas. Then dhyayakaha means should be a learned one, not an uneducated, illiterate, an ignorant one. So you have to be young and strong. You have to be noble and kind, and you have to be learned and wise. Is that over? No. Then it says, ashishto. He should be a man of perseverance, of ambition. Should be able to achieve what he sets his mind on. Balishto, he should have the strength to do that too. Just intention without any strength cannot lead to any results. Should have this ability to do that. Ashishto, dridishto, balishta. Dridishtam is determination to do that. So he is a person who has an intention, who has the determination, and who has the capacity to achieve that. Are we done with this? Can that be considered 1 unit of human joy? No, still more conditions. Tasyayam prithvim sarvam vrittasya purna syat. He should rule the whole earth and should own all the wealth that is on earth. If you fulfill all these conditions, then it is considered as 1 unit of human joy. And how can we ever achieve this? Can we ever be ever young and strong and wise and determined and own the earth and all the wealth in it? Nobody, even Elon Musk cannot claim this. So how do you become happy? So our scriptures don't even consider us as happy beings, because we don't own any of these things, right? So they don't consider that you have even achieved the possibility of human happiness. So we have not yet reached there, of a complete human happiness. Then it goes on to describe what it means to be happy like the gods. And it says, say, when you have 100 units of human happiness, then it is equal to 1 unit of Gandharvanandaha. Gandharvas are one level higher than humans, they are demigods. So 100 units of human happiness that comes from fulfilling all these conditions is equal to 1 unit of the demigod's joy. Then 100 units of demigod's joy, that is Manushya Gandharvanam, then Deva Gandharvanam, the higher category of demigods. 100 units of the previous one is the next one. And it goes on, then Devanam, then Pitra Chirloka Lokanam, and Indranam, then Brihaspati Nam. Then it goes finally to Brahmanandam, which is 10 to the power 20 times the 1 unit of human joy. That is the joy of being established in Brahman. There is a whole hierarchy. Now this looks impossible, right? Who can ever achieve this? Even the human joy is not possible by this definition and calculation. So there is no hope then. But no, our scriptures give you a hope. See, this easy way out is, what should he do? He should be, anybody knows the answer? No, without sorrow. How do you achieve that without sorrow? There are only 2 ways to get rid of this whole calculation and be happy. It says two things are there. Shrotriyasya cha akamahatasya. Shrotriyas means Shruti. Shruti means Vedas, the wisdom. Should be listening to all the wisdom. Shrotriya. He is interested in the words of the wisdom of the sages and the scriptures and so on. Cannot be indifferent or disinterested in that. So that is the first qualification. Should be learned in all the scriptures. It means you should know the wisdom of the scriptures. And second, akamahatasya, should be desireless. If you achieve this, is equivalent to achieving any of these stages of joy. A human joy or the Brahma's joy. All are achievable only through this one. And you will see that throughout the mantra, this keeps repeating like a refrain. Shotriyasya akamahatasya keeps repeating. So you can attain any of these levels of joy if you are a learned person, learned in the wisdom of the scriptures, which teaches us aham brahma sarvam brahma, and you are desireless. You have no desire for yourself. Desireless does not mean having no desires at all. A good desire. A desire for God is still a good desire. Desire for the welfare of all is a good desire. That's the desire I carry. And that desire also gives you the same quality of joy and the quantity of joy as all these people enjoy, from a human all the way till Brahman. So when you say, how can I be happy? How can Singapore be a happier place? Yes, health is needed, nutrition, education. But most of these things are looked after. The real thing is this idea that you should have heard the wisdom that you are divine. That's what Nandini is telling. I've heard it any number of times, but now it is occurring to me that yes, it may be possible for me too. That idea is extremely important. And desireless. There is no desire other than desire to know God. Sanjay was saying that burning desire to know God, the seeking, the yearning, that is the one that takes you to God. If you have these two sufficient, it says don't worry about the rest of it, whether you can be young and rich and powerful and ambitious and capable, forget all that, not required. Just do these two. Unfortunately, Singapore and most of the developed world is trying the first route, trying to own the earth and all the wealth and everything, stay young and beautiful and strong and intelligent and smart, but they're not able to achieve even 1 unit of human happiness because it is not possible. Instead, the scripture says, learn the wisdom of the wise men. Learn the wisdom of the scriptures, which tells you are divine, all is divine. And be desireless. Desireless in the sense, do not have any selfish desires, that's it. Yes, you have to eat, you have to rest, you have to live a good life, in the sense you should have food on the table, your children should go to school. All these are not desires, these are duties that you must perform as a part of the role that God has given you. But this excessive desire, I, me, myself, that has to go away. Now how do you become desireless? The only way to become desireless is do seva. Because when you do seva, then you will realize you are complaining about the shoes and there are people without legs. Your desires will slowly start coming down. Not on day one, but slowly. When you see somebody with a hole in the heart and you don't have one, you thank God. Thank you for not giving me a hole in my heart when I was born. Otherwise, I would have struggled all my way through the life. And now I am better, I am healthier, I could educate, I could run around, do things, and now I am capable of earning my money and live a good life. Why should I complain? Look at those kids. And if after that also you complain about things in life, you don't deserve happiness. No God will grant you that happiness. He'll think you are absolutely undeserving of it. Because you're ungrateful for what you already have. You'll start learning. When you meet poor people who do not even have 2 meals a day, suddenly you'll realize that, oh, I have so much more. Whether you sacrifice for their sake is the second thing. First thing is that you will feel that you already have enough and more. You don't complain, ask, desire and demand from God or anybody any further. And if you have the capability to earn more, you will definitely share with others because your desires are not there. What you will do with it? See, why do we accumulate things? Because we have desire for it. Once we have no desire for it, we don't accumulate anymore. It just goes to somebody whose need is greater. And this is the transformation that I'm talking about through seva. This transformation is possible when you really engage body, mind and soul in the activities. Not theoretically, talk about it, discuss in boardrooms and make policies and strategies and actually don't implement any of it. It won't help you. This is why when I went to Swami home yesterday, I saw this love in action. I know there are difficulties and challenges. You can't deal with that. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. I understand that. But then when you see those people who do not have support system, who cannot afford a medical care which is very expensive outside, whose families are not capable of looking after them or they do not want to look after them. Like a nurse told yesterday when I was asking her, she's a senior nurse, and I asked her that what is that you have to say to me or ask any questions. And she said, we don't want to open more nursing homes. People should be taught how to look after their health themselves and their families should look after them. But here people come, drop them in the nursing care and go away to their offices to do their day's work, only to pick them up in the evening or even sometimes these people drop them back home. And she was telling, then I asked, what about dementia? Because that is not something that we are capable of handling at homes. Then she said, you know what, Swamiji, when before they were admitted, they were quite okay. Many of them were quite okay. But after they were left behind in the nursing care, when their parents or their families, in a way isolated them, they were not caring for them, that is when they got into depression and dementia happened to them. They didn't come like this. Most of them came with some issues, yes, small issues, which are a part of that growing old. But it got worse because they felt, in a way, abandoned or isolated or uncared for by their own kith and kin. And that's when it further worsened for them. This is coming from somebody who has worked 30 years in this field. I have to take it for being, for her. It has to be the truth. She wouldn't say simply like that. So she said that's why we have to teach people to first look after their own health and teach their family to look after them. In Singapore, I believe there is a law. If you abandon your parents, you'll go to jail or something like that, I was told. You get punished. So imagine where we have deteriorated to what level that we should be punished. Unless we are punished, we don't want to look after our people. Where is humanity heading is the question. How is joy or happiness ever possible in such a society? So what is the way out? Spirituality is the way out. When you know what is your true purpose, you behave accordingly. You do seva. Seva transforms you. You become a better person. And when you are better, things around you or people around you also become better. So seva is so important. Today I was in NUH, and if I could share, the CEO said, after listening to everything, when I was going through my medical school, these were the ideas I had, these were the ideals I had, that I'll become a doctor and I will do this seva and I will help people. And but circumstances were such, system is such, structure is such. And today you have rekindled that in me again after meeting you, listening to you. So everybody has that in them, you see, but situations or whatever, we're victims of creatures of circumstances or victims of situations. That is how we grow into something else. So our mission gives us a platform. Alone we cannot do it. See, alone it takes a lot of courage and conviction to go ahead and do things. One or two in a million can be like that. But for an average person, they need a platform, as an ecosystem, a nice community within which they can work and express their divinity. And that will give them joy. They'll start experiencing that because the desirelessness will happen. And they will listen to wise words from other people and they will grow in their spirituality. So this shortcut, not even shortcut, the right way is be wise, in the sense be in the company of the wise, then you will also be wise. And do seva so that you will become desireless. And that will come down with time. It won't happen overnight. So don't have too much of expectation that today I went for seva, tomorrow I am divine. No. It takes a while. It takes a while of consistent efforts. At some point of time you will reach that stage. Like a ripening of a fruit, it's not overnight. It stays at, whatever, stuck to the branch of the tree, goes through the seasons, goes through the rain and sun and wind and all kinds of things, and then finally it ripens. And that is when it falls on its own. You don't need to pluck. So that evolution happens to everyone, provided you're in the good company. That is what is meant by Shotriyasya, listening to good things, and you're doing seva so that you're desireless. See, this is our scriptural truth written thousands of years ago by somebody. But it is valid for all times. Because we are the same human beings, same desires, same issues. We haven't changed much. Things outside has changed, but inside us we are the same humans, bound by our desires. And I was remembering one shloka from Ashtavakra Gita. It's again very inspiring. And you would be studying that during these 100 days in India. Of course, it will be relayed live. So you can also watch it in your own place, in the comfort of your couches and screens and devices. Now that far spirituality has to go. If gods continue to sit on the mountain tops, nobody is going to come. We'll have to get into the streets and into people's homes and phones. And that is how we are able to do what we have got to do, the changing times. So that will be there. Ashtavakra says very beautifully, and it inspires me. He says, Nirvasanam harim drishtva tushnim vishayadantinaha palayante na shaktaste sevante krita chatavaha. It says, Nirvasanam harim, the desireless lion. By seeing the desireless lion, Nirvasanam harim drishtva tushnim vishayadantina, the sense objects which are like elephants, mighty and big, they quieten off. They become quiet. Just as when the lion is around, all the elephants are quiet. They don't make the noise. Likewise, all our senses are subdued. They become quiet. They submit themselves to whom? To the lion of desirelessness. So desirelessness, the idea of desirelessness is considered the idea of a lion. Simhapura again. And harim drishtva tushnim vishayadantina, all our sense cravings will disappear when you are desireless. Who can bind you? And it says, palayante na shaktaste, these elephants of sense, cravings would like to run away from there because they cannot tolerate the presence of that desirelessness of the lion. They want to run away. Palayante. But if they are not capable, na shaktaste, if they cannot run away, then what do? Sevante krita chatava. They serve this lion like slaves. So become slaves of this desireless lion of a person, who all his senses. His eyes would see what he wants. His ears will hear what he wants. His tongue will taste what he wants. His hands will do what he wants. His feet will take him where he wants to go. Because now they have to serve this desireless lion. Look at the way they have portrayed a person with desirelessness is like a lion. You will think in a modern parlance, if so you have no desire, no ambitions, oh, you are a loser. You are no good. But our scriptures we say, even if you are capable of achieving everything, yet you are desireless or having desire only to do good, you are the real lion. not those who are posting themselves because they have a lot of money, wealth, power and position. They are not to be celebrated in our scriptures. So this idea, why all this is happening? Because of the desirelessness only. Where is the courage is coming from? Many people asked me, this trip has been quite long for me. I think I'm almost 2.5 months away from Mudenhalli. We started in the first week of March. And then we are here today, and I've not been back to Mudenhalli or India. People ask me, how do we sustain all this mission? Such huge missions with such a tremendous, it's very intense, both people-wise as well as resources-wise. How do you do this all free? Do you have a big corpus, you're sitting on some secret fund somewhere, you have a, I don't know, some angel funder somewhere quietly. I said, no, I just don't know. I just work today, live for today. I do what is required to be done today. And I'm desireless on that. If it has to happen tomorrow, it will happen tomorrow. I'll wake up, work equally hard as it is given to me today. And then we will see what happens the day after. And this is how we work every day, every week, every month, every year. Because we are not working for ourselves, therefore there's no anxiety. There's no fear. There is no sense of doership. So there is no sense of enjoyership. This is what a desireless lion looks like, somewhat like me. That's why at times what Nandini said, now we have an example to at least look up to compare notes, to see a journey and feel. Yes, you have, definitely. And that's why sometimes I roar also. when the elephants are not behaving. But it helps, So this is what you can become. Each one of you is that lion of desirelessness. And he's a happy lion, not a serious, sad, long-faced lion. Because our scriptures say what? He's the happiest who? Akamaha tasya, without any kama, without any desire. He's the happiest person on earth. His happiness is equivalent to the happiness of all the gods and the Brahman himself. Such a person can never be deluded or distracted or tempted into anything. He does what he wants to do. Nobody can. Look, what a sense of freedom that must be. Nobody can tell me what to do. I do what I means what is I am inspired to do. And if you try to tell me to do things which I am not inspired to do, for the sake of obliging you, I may say a word or two, but I don't mean it. This freedom comes only to desireless people. Desire is our, we lose our freedom when we have desire. We are bound when we have a desire. Again, you go back to, I'll close with this, in beautiful sloka comes in Viveka Chudamani. Because I talked about senses and the desires, the lion and the elephants. It says very beautifully, it says, Shabdadibhi pancha bhireva panchaha panchatvamapuhu swagunena baddhaha kuranga matanga matanga meena bringa naraha panchabhiranchitah kim. Beautiful Sanskrit. It says, because of one sense desire, these people suffer. Who are these people? The 5 of them. Kuranga, the deer. The deer suffers why? Because of the sense of hearing. When the hunter wants to capture a deer, which is very difficult to capture, they're very fast. So they make some rustling sound with the leaves, and deer is attracted to that sound. That's how it comes there and gets caught in the net and is hunted. Because of one sense object or one sense organ, which is ears, listening. Matanga, elephant, touch. How do I catch big male elephant in the forest? They send a female elephant. She goes and caresses the male, and he loses all his sense of understanding, discrimination, and follows her all the way. She is trained. She is very trained. She knows how to bring male elephants to the hunter or to whoever the elephant capturers. So she brings the male back home. And that's how they become slaves for the rest of their lives, carrying logs and woods and doing all kinds of things because of that one weakness of touch. Kuranga, Kuranga, Matanga, Patanga. Patanga is a moth. This, yeah, like fireflies, moth in the night. You'll see they come to the, attracted by the flame, they come. And what do they do? They fall into it and burn themselves to ashes. And nobody can stop them. It's suicidal, to go and fall into that flame. But they will still come, as if forced, as if hypnotized, as if, they have no control over it. They are attracted by the light, eyes, vision. That one sense object is the cause of their doom and destruction. Meena, fish. They are tempted by the taste. How do you catch a big fish? You put a small fish on the hook, and then it comes to eat that small fish and gets caught. So taste is the reason, tongue is the reason that fish gets caught. Just one weakness. And bhrunga, bee, smell. It just goes, smells the nectar of the flower and falls into it, and the flower closes and the bee dies. So just because of one touch, we have 5 sense objects, right? These animals, creatures suffer because of just one of them. They cannot handle it. And then he says, Naraha panchabhiranchitakim. What is the fate of man who is endowed with all the 5? Our situation is worse than these creatures. Because of just one sense, they go and fall and they destroy themselves. We have all the 5 to deal with. So human life is not easy. So being desireless is the only way out. And then all these sense objects like elephants will keep quiet when your heart is desireless. Yes, food comes to you, you eat it because you have to sustain yourself. Education or whatever, growth, employment, family. As a part of your role, you keep doing it, it's fine. But not out of a desire for it. You don't overtly ask for it. That kind of life is the lion's life. That is the true Simha. That is Nirvasanam Harim. Harim means lion. So that is the true lion that one should become. If you're a Singaporean and you really want to live by the name Simhapura, means the people who live in the city of lions, then you should also be lions, because how can anybody else live in a city of lions? They'll be eaten up by the lions, right? So you have to be a lion to survive with lions. And what kind of lion you should be? Desireless lion. And happy lion. Because a desireless lion is always a happy lion. That kind of spirituality is what these countries need. Of course, there are still pockets where things happen. There are people, loneliness is there, mental health is there. But all these can be solved if people become a little more spiritual and less desirous of worldly things and more desirous of God. So this is the only hope for the world. There is no other hope. Nanya pantha ayanaya vidyate, says scripture. There is no other way. If there was another way, we could have tried that. But there is no other way other than this. Spirituality is the only way. Knowing God is the only way. There is no other way. So what's the point in just trying to console ourselves or try to make ourselves feel comfortable that no, there could be another way. It's okay if I am desirous for the rest of my life. In the end, I will just apologize to God. And anyway, God is all forgiving, so He will forgive me. All these, don't try all this on God. A lot of people try this on me, our students especially. Make mistakes and then, no, Swami, you are Karunamaya, you are supposed to be ocean of compassion. To err is human, to forgive is divine. So in your compassion, I said, all this drama doesn't work for me. If you do drama with me, I can do better drama. You don't try this with me. Be sincere. Be sincere, Shraddha. Do that and you will definitely, if needs to be forgiven, you'll be forgiven. But then insincere feelings are not permitted here. You really mean that you want to grow spiritually, you put effort, you falter, it's okay. But you faltered not because of your carelessness, because you are not capable of it yet. Like a child not capable of running, keeps falling here and there. That's all right. God will come and lift you up again, because He finds that sincerity in you. But if you're not sincere, God is not going to come here. Then you don't look up to the sky and cry why you were not compassionate, why you didn't come to save me, because you were not sincere to know God, right? So do that, and it's very important. Actually, I wanted to give a lecture from Bhagavatam, but their speech, directed me to lecture. See, this is what instrumentation is. You don't really, you're not really rigid that this is what I must do. This is just because I have planned and decided I will do this only. No, wherever your heart leads you,
wherever that inspiration takes you. I think time to end my speech. They started on this topic and then they talked about their self-transformation, this idea of being a lion. So then this speech went in that direction. Otherwise, I was planning to give a much more scary speech from Bhagavatam. But I'll leave it for another day. Yeah. So be happy lions, but you can be happy lions only if you are desireless and in the company of the wise. Those who are also like this, desireless. So that will inspire you to continue walking on this path. And it's for everybody to reach God. Nobody is to be denied. There is nobody who can tell you that you can't attain God. If somebody tells you that, they are not real people. They are not true. So God is for all. But who gets to God, it depends on who craves for God, who works towards it, who desires for it. And all other desires should disappear. Rumi says, I once had 1,000 desires, but in my one desire to know you, all other desires melted away. That's what should happen to us. We might have been born with 1,000,000 desires and acquire another 1,000,000 on the way. But once we have developed this mumukshutvam to know God, all other things should become insignificant, immaterial, unimportant. That is how Simhapuras or Simhapuravasas, the residents of Singapore, should think. Then there is a hope for the world. This is a brilliant country, beautiful country, prosperous country, but mentally not very strong. Yeah. I think you. Yeah, I think she had the desire to give the mic to me. So, mic had to come to me. But yes, that is what I'm saying, that you have to be strong in your pursuit of God and be desireless. Desire for God, that's a good desire. All other desires should fade away in that one desire. When sun rises, all the fog disappears. Like that, all other ideas, desires should fade away. You ask God, you will get everything. What is needed, what is right for you, not what you want, what you desire for. No, what God thinks is right for you, it will come to you. Be like that. And this mission is about that. It's about self-transformation. While we help the world, the mission helps us to help ourselves grow into God's. Right? So be sincere. That is the greatest joy. And as I said, there are hundreds of things people will say when I die about me. But one thing that I really want them to talk about is that, oh, he helped me grow into God. He helped me grow into that lion. He helped me realize that happiness which is godly. If that is the topmost achievement on my CV, I think it's worth all the efforts, right? So give me the joy of having a very... This mic is very clear. Shut up, that's what it's saying. It's 8:40 and everybody should eat.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बांधवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता गुरुदैवमु मरियंतयु नीवे स्वामी मरियंतयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा, नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा, नागेन्द्राशयन ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी ओ साई महादेवा, सद्गुरु साई महादेवा, मंगल हारति अंदुको, मंगल हारति अंदुको, मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम, नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम, नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम, नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। ओम शांति शांति शांति। समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय।